I was terrified to speak French even after studying it for years. I could read, I could understand, but the moment I had to open my mouth, total panic. My heart raced, my brain froze, and my French disappeared. If you ever felt that way, this video is for you. If you're new here, I'm Rachelle, mais, français. I'm a multilingual creator living in the UK, learning French, discovering cultures, and sharing my honest language learning journey. I also teach Mandarin to non-Chinese speakers here in the UK, so I've seen this fear from both sides, my own and my students. If you ever felt anxious or embarrassed to speak in another language, you're not alone. And today I'll tell you how I overcame it. Speaking is the scariest part of any new language. You can study grammar all day, but when it's time to say something, your brain just goes blank. And I've actually experienced that twice, not just in French, but even in English. When I first moved to the UK, I was already fluent, but I still had a fear of speaking to locals. I was so scared I wouldn't understand their slang. I was scared I might say something too direct and accidentally offend them because of cultural differences. You know, those lost in translation. I even worry about my accent. So once I told my friends that I thought she was very simple. She laughed and said, "I know you didn't mean that, but in the UK, calling someone simple sounds like you're calling them an idiot." What I really meant was that she lived a simple, peaceful life that I admired, one that made life feel lighter and happier. But that moment stuck with me. It showed how easy it is to be misunderstood. And that's okay, because who cares if you make mistakes? As long as people know you're a language learner, it's fine. Mistakes are how you learn. That's what I always tell my Mandarin pupils too. If you never make mistakes, you never realize what you don't know. Every mistake is a new discovery. I still tell myself, okay, that's one more thing I've learned. That's progress. When I first studied in Toulouse, I was so afraid to speak that I once spent 5 minutes rehearsing how to ask for a baguette. When it was finally my turn, I said, je vous un baguette, s'il vous plaît? The baker smiled kindly and corrected me. Une baguette, pas un. I wanted to disappear, but instead of laughing, he just smiled and chatted slowly. That small kindness stayed with me. And then 2 years ago, when I visited France again, I tried to order a café crème. I practiced my whole sentence to make sure it was perfect. And I said it confidently, je voudrais un café crème, s'il vous plaît? And then the barista asked, "Un fait sucré?" I froze. I didn't know the word sucre yet. She didn't speak English either, but she kindly pointed to a sugar packet, and that's how I learned the word sucre. Another time, a barista asked, "Du lait de vache?" I froze again. I knew café au lait, so lait means milk, but I don't know cow in French. She was asking if I wanted cow's milk or something else like soy milk or oat milk. Every one of these frozen moments turned into a core memory. Because the more awkward it is, the more deeply you remember it, and that's exactly how your brain learns best. So don't be afraid of awkwardness. It's your best teacher. Like I said in my last video, how I improved my French speaking while living in England. Instead of saying I'm bad at French, I say yet. That one word changes everything. It gives you permission to keep learning without judging yourself. You're not bad, you're just not there yet. But one day you'll be fabulous. So why are we scared to speak? Because our brain hates uncertainty. It wants to know what will happen next. But when we speak another language, there's no guarantee. You don't know what the other person will say or if you understand them. That's why your heart races. That's the same fear as public speaking. Once I understood that, I stopped blaming myself. I wasn't weak, I was just human. What helped me the most was practicing out loud, even when no one was there. I started recording myself in French every day, describing what I was doing, how I felt, or what I wanted to say to someone. At first, it was awful. I kept stopping halfway, saying, "Oh, that sounds bad," and restarting. I even felt shy talking to a camera with even no one's around. But after a few weeks, I noticed something amazing. once I pressed record, I stopped thinking in English. I recently read Atomic Habits. You've probably heard about it. I read it in Chinese though. The author explains how habits stick when you create an environment that triggers them automatically. For example, if your iPad is only used for Duolingo or note-taking, you won't install Netflix on it. So every time you open it, your brain knows, okay, it's time to study. So I built my own trigger system, my camera, my mic, and a 15 minutes reminder in my calendar every day. When that time came, I turned on the camera and spoke French about anything. It didn't matter if my grammar was wrong, the camera doesn't judge you, you can delete the video or keep it. The point is to keep speaking. Over time, I felt comfortable speaking French to the camera, and that helped my online lessons too. I have one-on-one French lessons on Google Meet every week, and now because I'm used to talking through a camera, I feel relaxed and confident talking to my teacher. Honestly, this confidence practice doesn't only help with languages, it helps with public speaking, interviews, and everyday communications too. You have to give yourself permission to sound imperfect. Thinking about children, they make mistakes constantly, and that's exactly why they learn faster. Adults, on the other hand, want to sound perfect immediately, but that kills joy. So instead of trying to be flawless, I made small rules for myself. For example, speaking French at least once a day, even if it's just one sentence, or start with a short conversation with strangers every week. Even if I make mistakes, I count that as a success. That's how you slowly build courage, by showing up constantly, not by being perfect. When it comes to fear, have you noticed there are actually two voices inside you? One is the voice from your brain, and the other is from your heart, or soul, as some people say. The brain's voice is logical, realistic, and based on past experiences. It's one of that says, your accent is terrible, you sound silly. It's not trying to hurt you, it's trying to protect you. But it also creates stress, comparison, and self-doubt. Then there's your heart's voice. It's gentle, calm, and kind. It's the one that says, you are brave for speaking. It encourages you, believes in you, and reminds you that you are doing something courageous. When you start recognizing which voice is speaking, your whole mindset changes. Follow your heart's voice, because that's the one connected to your true self, your higher soul, and your dream. Once you do that, fear loses its control over you. Now, even though I lived in England, I keep practicing French through my camera, my online lesson, my everyday routines. The fear doesn't vanish overnight, but every time you speak, even if it's short, even if it's messy, you gain another piece of confidence. If you like this video, you'll love my previous one, which is how I improved my French speaking while living in England. It's all about practical habits that helped me build this confidence. So keep speaking, keep learning, and remember, your heart's voice is always right. You are brave for speaking.